I've been asked to limit well, first of all, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've been asked to limit my remarks below 30 minutes, so time me to 29 if you don't mind. I think, first and foremost, when I first took office, one of the things that I talked a lot about was constituent services and great policy. Great policy assumes one very critical thing that I believe our founders thought through every day, and that was the idea of intelligent banter. That was the idea of good ideas against other good ideas to create great ideas. It was not about basically the misinformation campaign that could possibly go on in the day of the internet. Our forefathers assumed a town square. Our forefathers assumed the idea of meeting in Constitutional Hall. I'm not suggesting that they couldn't see the future, but they probably could not see a future where instantaneously, within 5 seconds, a rash of misinformation could go across our entire state. Many of you have received information over the last 24 hours that, frankly, I'm saddened by. Those individuals claim to want to be part of a process that gives us great policy in our state. They claim to be the ones that they don't want us to have unintentional consequences, as the previous speaker spoke to, but I wonder if that's truly the case. Because as I review what has been sent out conveniently misses the definition section. A little hard to look at a bill and look at the contents of that bill without first understanding what the definitions are. A lay person reading the bill without access to the definition of person wouldn't truly understand what person is as it relates to 986. The former speaker spoke to the ideas that, quote, everyone could be trapped within the definition of person. I respectfully disagree. A person is clearly someone who is an employee of, a contractor of, or similarly situated. Similarly situated, an employee and contractor cannot be confused. That is not a volunteer. That is not someone who walks. That is not someone who basically knocks on doors, but that is someone who is similarly situated. In addition to that, we also have the requirement that they are part of a formal campaign, they are part of a PAC, part of a committee, etc. Further, the previous speaker spoke to the idea of the Vermont case and the meme. I can assure you, this bill does not catch that person in any type of trap, because I would ask you to look at the definition of materially deceptive media. That definition alone that you will find in the bill on lines 33 through 34 make it very clear that you must, first and foremost, it must appear to be the real individual's speech or conduct. I want to say that one more time. Depict the real individual's speech or conduct and reasonable to the observer. That is a critical distinction between a meme and basically a video that purports. In Turkey, we saw in an election last year where generative AI was used to depict an individual soliciting a prostitute. That individual did no such thing. It was shown to show an individual smoking an illegal substance. That individual did no such thing. It used to be that the lies that went through the political process that unfortunately are protected, sometimes by the First Amendment, were two-dimensional. They would show up on a TV screen, they would show up on a mailer. But now we're talking about three-dimensional in terms of video, in terms of audio. The idea that you can depict the current president's voice and do a robocall and let literally people believe that the election has been moved from Tuesday to Wednesday, decreasing turnout. This body has talked about liberty. It has talked about freedom, but it has also talked about election integrity 100 times in the last 3 years. How can we have election integrity without knowing what the candidates are saying and what they're truthfully saying, what they truthfully believe in? I know no person in this body who does not believe in freedom and liberty, but I do know this. There are operatives in this state who would prefer to use generative AI and deceptive media to be able to take over the integrity of our elections. It's not enough that we go through how the ballots will be done, how the counting will be done, how the audits will be done, but rather leading up to that election, that individual going into the voter box must know what you believe in. And that can't be done if someone is deceptively using your name, your image, your likeness. Not possible. So I ask you this. We've spoken the entire morning about the first part of this bill. I'm going to flip very quickly to the second part of this bill because for some reason, those that have permeated this misinformation failed to talk about the second part of this bill. The second part of this bill is critical. It's critical for us as a body, and it's critical for us as a republic, and to be the bedrock of this democracy, and that's this. No one is saying you can't use generative AI, and I'm going to tell you something, I'm probably going to use it in my campaign this year. What the second part talks to, though, is you must disclose it. What's wrong with that? Hi, I'm Todd Jones, and I approve the use of generative AI in this particular ad, in this particular video, in this particular audio. Don't we want truth in advertising? This is not a difference between freedom and liberty. Absolutely not. This is a difference between ensuring that we have election integrity, ensuring that the falsities that people are peddling over the last 24 hours do not win the day within this chamber. I respectfully ask this body for its favorable consideration of HB 986, and Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.